Okay, so you guys sent us this Psalm 61 from the New Living Translation,
Uh-huh.
and we're going to take a deep dive into it today.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting prayer packed with a lot of
Hmm.
imagery and sentiment. Even just looking at the heading
Yeah.
for the choir director, a Psalm of David to be accompanied by stringed instruments.
Hmm.
You know, you get the feeling right away that this was meant to be something shared, almost
Hmm.
like a song more than just like a
Oh,
the
absolutely.
of
Of solitary prayer.
yeah, and I mean thinking about it as a piece of music too adds that whole other dimension to it.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't just, a thought that David had on his own,
Yeah.
but something that he really crafted for communal expression.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's jump into the first verse. Oh God, listen to my cry, hear my prayer.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
so direct, right?
Yeah, there's a real urgency to it.
Yeah.
It's like a raw need to be heard.
Yeah, it's like stripped down.
Yeah, totally stripped down to
Ah,
its essence.
Yeah. And that direct address to God right there.
Right.
That really underscores how personal this is.
Eh.
Mm-hmm. It's like in that moment of distress, there's that connection.
Yeah. And then verse 2 sort of expands on that feeling a little bit.
Right.
From the ends of the earth, I cry to you for help when my heart is overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that image of being at the ends of the earth,
Right.
it really, I think, speaks to that feeling of isolation,
Absolutely.
like just utter isolation.
Yeah.
And then there's this plea, lead me to the towering rock of safety.
Mm.
What do you think about when you hear that metaphor of the rock?
Well, I think it's really fascinating how it contrasts that feeling of being, lost and scattered
Right.
with this image of something that's so solid and unmovable.
Mm-hmm.
A rock isn't going to be, easily swayed by anything.
Right.
It offers that sense of permanence.
Yeah, like unshakable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like reliable shelter when everything else is in turmoil.
Yeah. Have you ever felt that need for something, absolutely steadfast in your life?
For sure.
Yeah. And then it continues in verse 3 with this idea of refuge.
Mm-hmm.
For you are my safe refuge, a fortress where my enemies cannot reach me. It's like a declaration of trust almost.
Yeah, it really is. Like doubling down on that need for safety.
Mm-hmm.
Refuge speaks to shelter, but then fortress.
Right.
That implies an active defense, too.
Yeah.
It's a place where those threats just can't penetrate.
Right. And then verse 4 brings in this really interesting longing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me live forever in your sanctuary, safe beneath the shelter of your wings.
Mm.
I mean, there's a real yearning there for something more permanent,
Yeah, it's not just about immediate safety.
Right.
It's about wanting that security to last.
Yeah. It's like enduring security.
Absolutely.
And the source actually mentions that there's an interlude here.
Right.
What do you think that signifies in the context of this verse?
I think that interlude probably offered a moment to really pause and reflect,
Yeah.
On that desire to dwell in safety forever.
Yeah.
The image of being beneath the shelter of your wings, I mean,
Yeah.
that speaks to this complete care and protection.
It's so powerful, yeah.
Yeah, not just like a temporary kind of relief.
Yeah. And then we get a little bit of a shift in verse 5. For you have heard my vows, O God. You have given me an inheritance reserved for those who fear your name.
Mm.
What do you think is implied in this idea of vows and inheritance?
Well, I think the vows suggest a commitment that's been made,
Right.
a promise that's been offered.
Right, like a reciprocal thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that inheritance that's being talked about here,
Right.
it's not about material wealth or anything.
Right.
It's more about like a spiritual standing,
Mhm.
a promised place of favor and security
Yeah.
for those who have that deep reverence for the divine, that
Mhm.
profound respect.
Yeah. And then verses 6 and 7 kind of narrow the focus a little bit onto the idea of a leader. Add many years to the life of the king. May his years span the generations. May he reign under God's protection forever. May your unfailing love and faithfulness watch over him.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because it mentions a king specifically,
Mm-hmm.
but it feels like it speaks to a broader hope
Right.
for stable and benevolent leadership in general.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah, something that I think we can all relate to.
Yeah, definitely. While it might be specific to a monarch, in the time it was written,
Right.
that desire for enduring, just divinely guided leadership.
Right.
I mean, that's something that's relevant to everyone.
Yeah.
It's about that stability and security for the entire community.
Yeah. And then finally, verse 8 kind of wraps everything up.
Mm-hmm.
Then I will sing praises to your name forever as I fulfill my vows each day.
Right.
So we're brought back to this idea of ongoing commitment and thankfulness.
Yeah, that experience of finding refuge,
Hmm.
and being helped.
Yeah.
It leads to this continuous response of gratitude and faithfulness.
Mm.
And that daily fulfillment of vows,
Yeah.
that really emphasizes that this isn't just like a one-time thing.
Right.
It's about a sustained way of life.
Right. So we've journeyed through this cry for help. We've seen this powerful image of a towering refuge,
Yeah.
this deep desire for lasting safety,
Sure.
the idea of promises and a spiritual inheritance and
Mm.
hopes for good leadership,
Mm-hmm.
and then finally this commitment to praise.
It's really amazing how much is packed into these few verses.
Yeah, it really is. It's really something.
Yeah.
So thinking about all of this, the seeking safety and expressing devotion,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think is that towering rock or source of refuge that really resonates with you in your own life?
That's a great question.
Yeah, it's something to really think about.
For sure.
Well, thanks for exploring this deep dive with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this was really great.
It's my pleasure.